Hey everybody, Ken Lane again, your wedding officiant, reminding you that you can have the relationship that you choose. It just takes a lot of work. What we're going to talk about today is not necessarily the most fun, but it may be one of the most important. I want to talk to you about top 5 signs that you are not ready to get married. Now you got to be ready for these, and you got to take them honestly, and you got to self-evaluate, is this really you? Is this really what you're going through? I want you to do one thing for me though. I do not want for you to transfer this onto your fiance. In other words, I don't want you to think, oh, that's how they feel about me. Oh, that's how they treat me. That's how they act towards me. I don't want you to do any of that. This is top 5 signs you are not ready to get married. Not top 5 signs your fiance is not ready to get married. This is for you to think about. Okay, we're going to do these Jeopardy style. We're going to hit them hard, fast, and we're going to get through them quickly. Sign number 1 of the top 5 reasons that top 5 signs that you are not ready to get married. Are they the most important person? Are they the most important person? Are they the most important person in your life? Now think about that. Is your fiance the most important person in your entire life? Or do they kind of come down the line? Are they your best friend? Is anyone else more important than they are? Or is your mom or dad more important than your fiance? If so, they're not the most important person in your life. Do you have a friend that you want to be around more than your upcoming spouse? You know, that's kind of a big warning sign, a red flag. You probably should think through this a little bit more. Question number 1, top 5 signs you are not ready to get married. Are they the most important person in your life? Question number 2, this is obvious. Do you guys get along? I mean, really, think about it. Do you really get along? And if you're fighting now, and a lot of times you just don't want to be around each other, and it seems like a lot of times when you are around each other, it turns into one of these, and you guys seem to fight a lot. Let me ask you a question. Is that really what you want? I mean, is getting married, you looking forward to getting married so important that you think that things are going to get better? That you want to spend the rest of your life with this person, and it seems like you're always at each other's throats now? You should really think about that. If you can't get along now, why do you think that you're going to get along after you get married? Yes, change is hard. Yes, deciding not to go through with something that you believe that you really, really want, something that you've already told everybody else, and maybe you've already made a lot of plans for. Going in a different direction is hard. That could be tough, but oh my friend, please understand, it's not nearly as hard as being married for several years and then deciding, you know what, we should have never gotten married in the first place. We've been fighting like cats and dogs for the last 6 years. I'm over this. I'm out of here. I'm done with it. Well, you're going to wish with all your heart that you would have thought about a different direction now, a little bit more seriously instead of them. That's number 2. Top 5 reasons you are not ready to get married. Number 3, question. Do you completely trust your fiance? I mean, do you really trust them? Trust them with everything. Do you trust them with finances and money? Really? Do you trust them around the opposite sex? That's a big one. Do you trust them with an old flame or an ex-lover? Do you trust them that they will always honor you? Do you trust them that they will always, 30 years from now, that they will put your best interests at heart? Do you trust them that they will be a good father or a good mother? Do you trust them that they will be a hard worker, that they'll always provide for the family? Question. Do you completely trust your fiance? If you don't think that any of the things that I just said, you don't trust them to fulfill that role, those are kind of a big deal. you may want to have a long, hard talk about that, especially when your trust has been totally violated. Now, I'm not saying if you're a jealous person and jealous for no reason because you've been hurt in the past or because you've had abandonment issues in the past and you just tend to be jealous and fearful, well, that's something that you need to deal with as a person. Grow up as a mature adult, and that may take a lot of help, maybe a little help. But I'm talking about if your fiance has given you a reason not to trust them. They have violated your trust, whether it is with the opposite sex. Come on. Seriously? You're going to marry somebody who's already been caught cheating on you? Really? If they violated your trust, whether it be with drugs and alcohol, they have a drug and alcohol problem. If they violated your trust financially, if they violated your trust by humiliating you around their friends or whatever it may be, if there's already a clear violation of that trust, I would say to you that maybe actually planning on making a legal contract to be married for the next several years, till death do us part. Can you believe I actually just did the finger quotes? Is that not the dumbest thing you've ever seen? If you are planning on staying with this person until death do us part, then I would think that maybe you better give them some time and see if they are really serious about regaining that trust. Number 4, top 5 reasons, your top 5 signs you are not ready to get married yet. Number 4, do you still yearn for a former lover, an old flame? Do you still yearn? Do you still carry a torch for somebody else? Now, this one is not as bad as you may think it is. Why? Because let's be honest, by the time most of us get married, and my place got married, by the time most of us get married, come on, we've had somebody else in the past. There is, for many of us, someone that we gave our heart to, and whether we were the dumper or the dumpy or however it worked out, many of us got hurt by someone in the past. And so you tend to carry that with you at least for a little while, and you always think about that person, even if you dated that person for a long, long time. It kind of makes it worse because there's so many memories involved. Look, I want you to know something. If you still think about another person, that's understandable. But if you still yearn for a past flame, if there's ever a doubt that if that other person called you and said, would you meet me for dinner, or hey, let's have lunch, and oh, by the way, don't tell your fiance/spouse, and you would even consider that, I would really think long and hard about the direction that you're going in. If there's any doubt at all that if someone from your past or someone that you really liked at one time called you back and said, hey, let's give this one more shot, and you're ready to take off, then I would say that you're probably not ready to commit the rest of your life to the person that you're with right now. Number 5, last one. Are you willing to do whatever it takes in your life to have a beautiful, healthy, productive, happy marriage? Are you willing to do whatever it takes? Or are you one of those people who just sit back and say, me, it's all about me, it's all about them serving me, it's all about getting what I want, and marriage is about this person making me happy? Please understand this. If you're marrying a young woman or a young man and you think that it's going to be their job for the next 30 years to make you happy, for the love of God and for the love of this person, don't marry them, because you are binding them to a job that's impossible. It's not their job to make you happy for the next 30 years. It's their job to form a partnership with you guys, that you both have a beautiful friendship and a partnership. Top 5 signs that you are not, I keep wanting to say reason. I don't know why I keep wanting to say reasons. Top 5 signs that you are not ready to get married yet. Hey, I know that this one may not have been a whole lot of fun, but let's be honest, I gave you something to think about. Check me out on the next video. Thanks, guys. Be good.